Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're going to be studying from the book 50/50, a speaking and listening course intro. We're jumping right into Unit 6, which is called Making a Living, Occupations. So if you're ready, let's dive in. So what's our goal for today? It's pretty simple, really. By the end of this lesson, you're going to be able to ask people what they do for a living and, of course, answer those same questions yourself. It's all about boosting your real-world conversation skills. Here's a quick look at our roadmap. We'll start by talking about jobs, then we'll sharpen our listening skills, move on to describing people's work, practice asking specific questions, and we'll finish everything up with a quick unit review. All right, first up, let's talk about jobs. We're going to start with a really simple, really common conversation. Pay close attention to how the questions are asked. Here we go. Jenny asks, "So, what do you do, Pablo?" This is probably the most common and natural way to ask someone about their occupation in English. What do you do? Simple, direct, and friendly. And Pablo's answer is just as straightforward. I am a taxi driver. Notice he uses I'm a followed by his job. Nice and clear. And Jenny keeps the conversation flowing with another great question. How do you get to work? This is a perfect follow-up question when you're talking about jobs. Pablo replies, I usually take the subway. Just so you know, a subway is an underground train system. You find them in many big cities around the world. So now it's your turn. Try practicing this little dialogue. It's a great warm-up. Fantastic. Now that we're warmed up, let's switch gears and really work on our listening skills. We're going to do a few exercises that will help you pick up on key details when people talk about their jobs. Okay, for this first exercise, you're going to listen to 8 different sentences. As you listen, I want you to match the number of the sentence to the right picture in your book, and also try to identify the main verb in each one. Ready? Here we go. 1. Sue's a doctor. 2. Mary's a teacher. 3. David's a bellhop. 4. Tony's a writer. 5. Jim's a police officer. 6. Diane drives a bus. 7. John's a letter carrier. 8. Ken drives a taxi. All right, how did you do? Let's check those answers. For number 1, Sue's a doctor, the verb is. And for number 6, Diane drives a bus, the verb is drives. You can see all the correct answers on the screen now, so go ahead and check your work. Great job! Now for our next listening exercise, things get a little more interesting. Sometimes one clue can describe more than one job. For instance, if you hear, he always works indoors, who could that be? Well, it could be a doctor, or a teacher, or even a writer. Or how about this one? He usually talks to customers. That could describe a taxi driver, but it could also be a bellhop. See how that works? Okay, for our final listening challenge, you're going to hear 4 different people talking about what they do. Your job is to figure out who is speaking. Let's listen together. Person 1. I carry a lot of things at work. I walk a lot. I work on the street. I usually work alone. Person 2. I work at night. Sometimes I work indoors and sometimes I work outdoors. I don't work alone. I usually talk to customers. Person 3. I work at home. I always work alone. I never talk to customers. I don't wear a uniform. Person 4. I usually work indoors. I talk to customers a lot. I always wear a uniform. I never work alone. So who was who? Well, person 1 was the letter carrier. Person 2, the taxi driver. Person 3, the writer. And person 4 was the bellhop. You can see all the answers right there on the screen. You've done some fantastic listening practice. Your ears must be getting sharp. Now it's time to switch roles. It's your turn to do the talking. We're going to practice asking simple yes or no questions to guess someone's job. But before we jump in, let's get a few essential phrases under our belts. These are going to be your tools for this next activity. We have work outdoors, wear a uniform, work at night, and work alone. Make sure you're familiar with these. So let's imagine your partner is thinking of a job, say a police officer. You could start your guessing game with a question like this. Does he wear a uniform? Pay attention to that question structure. Does he, followed by the verb. And the answer you might get is a simple, short answer. Yes, he does. This is a very natural and common way to respond in English. It confirms your clue and gets you one step closer to guessing the job. Okay, you have one clue. Let's dig for more information. Your next question could be, does he work at night? With every question, you're narrowing down the possibilities. And the answer this time might be, sometimes. That's another great clue. A police officer does sometimes work at night. Okay, now it's your turn.
Use this same question and answer pattern to ask a partner about the other jobs in your book.
Excellent work with those questions. Let's build on that with our next speaking task. For this one, you'll work with a partner to fill in a chart with specific details about different jobs. So, this is what we call an information gap activity. Take a look at the chart. You have some information, but there are blank spaces. Guess what? Your partner has the information you're missing. For example, you can see that Anna is a travel agent, but you don't know where she works. You'll have to ask your partner to find out. So what questions will you need to complete the chart? Well, here are your essential tools. Questions that start with what, where, how, and what days. For instance, to ask about someone's job title, you'll use, what does she do? To find out the location, where does she work? Use these question formats to fill in all the blanks on your chart. Wow, we have covered a lot of ground today. Before we finish, let's take a moment to do a quick review of the most important language and vocabulary from this unit. This will really help all this new information stick. Let's really focus on these key sentence structures. These are your go-to phrases. Remember, what do you do to ask about a job? How do you get to work to ask about their commute? And of course, does she work at night for those yes-no questions with the short answers yes, she does or no, she doesn't. And finally, let's quickly run through the new vocabulary from this unit one last time. We have occupation, doctor, taxi driver, uniform, indoors, outdoors, and customers. Knowing these words will make your conversations about work so much easier. So, there you have it. We've listened, we've spoken, we've learned new grammar and vocabulary. Now, the only thing left is for you to use it. So I'll ask you, what do you do? Thanks so much for joining me today, and I hope you have a great time practicing.